Hey guys, Brandon here for RC Flight School. Today I'm giving you my Afterflight review on the Micro Beast. This is from eFlight. I got a chance to put about 5 packs through it and I really enjoy flying this plane. It is a sport acrobatic plane, so it's fully capable of loops, rolls, you name it. Borderline on 3D performance, but I enjoyed it more for the scale aspect. You can see obviously this thing just pops having the scale red scheme. It's a lot of fun to fly. It's very visible. It's fun to do inverted passes, stuff real close to you. All the little scale, like the scale aspects, like the rigging, again, the whole paint job, the wheel pants, everything. I don't know, it just kind of contributes to having a very scale plane that's fun to fly close to you and do little acrobatics with. That being said, it does have a few requirements. First of all, you absolutely have to have a computer radio for this guy. We're flying it on a DX6i, that one behind me, and they do have right in the manual all the settings they recommend for dual rates and exponential. And if you don't have a radio that has those features, I wouldn't recommend buying this plane. Yeah, it would fly it, but you're going to have a real hard time gaining control of it. Having such a small airframe with such a powerful motor, you really need that ability to tame it down a little bit to make it less twitchy. We did, again, the exact settings they recommended on the manual. That's a great starting point. I fooled around with them a little bit, and pilots will too, mess around with them for their particular flying skill and flying level. But again, have a computer radio. Don't go out and get one of these if you don't have one. You're not going to get the full potential out of it. Wind. It's interesting with the micros to see how wind affects them. Obviously, you want very low wind, but even when you only have a few miles an hour of wind, turbulence will make a huge difference. It can play a role that can make it very frustrating to fly. So if you're flying near, let's say, a tree line or a building, wind can kind of roll off the building, cause a lot of turbulence, and on a small airframe like this, just wreaks havoc on it. You can be performing a nice maneuver, it'll be flying all fine, and then all of a sudden it'll dip a wing and stall because it'll hit an air pocket, or rolling air will kind of push it over. Again, very small airframe, very affected by wind and turbulence. So make sure that when you're flying these, you're in a very open area, away from tall trees, objects, anything that the wind can roll off of, get a hold of, and cause turbulence. So keep that in mind. For me, it was like night and day, flying it in a huge open field or trying to fly it in my small backyard where I got trees. Even on what seemed like a dead calm day, a little bit of turbulence really makes very unsettling characteristics, put it that way. Other than that though, I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's just a fun plane. It's very fast. This is a 2300 kV motor. I can tell there'll be a lot of room for options for props and motors. I'm changing to probably a more powerful, more thrust, less speed type setup. This thing does almost 40 miles an hour. I mean, it just cruises, and for a tiny plane like that, it's fun to do that once in a while, but you like to slow up and perform acrobatic maneuvers, hanging off the prop, things like that. So keep that in mind. Another thing I'd recommend, get the larger pack. This is a 120 milliamp pack that they include with it. They have the optional 180 milliamp pack, and I'm sure there's larger options out there. This little guy gave me an average of about 4 to 6 minutes of flight time, and it's nice to drop a few grams for weight for acrobatics. But again, this plane being so small and being more of a scale sport acrobatic than purebred acrobatic plane, I'd take that weight penalty for a few more minutes of flight time. And battery placement is huge on a plane like this. So we'll take the battery hatch off here, and you'll see that they do have adjustable battery tray, so you can shift the battery forward and backwards and adjust the center of gravity of the plane. That's important for any plane, that's crucial. But as you get down in size, little tiny shifts, I'm talking just a couple millimeters either direction, really makes a difference in how it flies and performs in acrobatic maneuvers. So you're going to want to take the time to trim it out, mess with your center of gravity, and get it right where you want it. You'll probably end up changing it for different wind conditions and things like that, but again, very important to take your time for that. It'll make the difference between a plane that flies great and one that's you're always fighting. I don't have much else to say about it for now. I mean, I got about 5 flights on it. I haven't done any modifying. I'm flying it almost off the manual. We're going to probably do a little bit of messing around with motors and props. We'll mess around with doing different rates, dual rates, exponential, show you guys what we like best after getting more flights in it. I'd like to get a few more hours before I give you guys a full review. But that's my quick Afterflight review. If you guys have anything to say about this, comment below. Tell me if you've flown this, tell me what you do for a setup. If you have any questions, post below. We'll get all your questions answered. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you soon.